pyramid is how we actually now start documenting learning. How is the student starting to capture work they are doing within the context of documenting particular outcomes?
So you can see on the slide things like feedback, reflection, questionnaires. Because I just showed you the area for reflection, let me just make a comment to you that that is both date and time stamped. So when a person goes in to actually add any kind of reflection into their portfolio, into that item, goes to save it, over time, multiple points of reflection could be incorporated, and they will come in date and time stamped. I go back to a page in my own portfolio, and I look at site feedback. This could be object feedback, site feedback, page feedback, but the owner has the ability to craft this so that you have a choice of using all, one, or no entries that would involve everything from a Likert type scale where you can customize the question, an answer that would, a question that would have up to 2 possible responses, again, customizable, or simply providing a notes field. From an evaluation structure perspective, looking in at the tool, and also allow authorized visitors to actually suggest content changes. That means someone who you've given access to your site through a sign-on or some other facility. Then you can elect to show that feedback when you receive it. That interprets out on the public side as being a link to feedback where whatever you have provided can be submitted. And then that feedback can be controlled by the user through that element, the feedback area, where they can actually opt to turn feedback on or off, delete it, and can actually see what feedback was that was brought in. So you can tell that I've been using this as a demo the last couple of days, so I'm actually have feedback in there that's been entered by myself. But the fact that you can customize that at the level of being connected to an object, being connected to a page, or being to the whole page in a site is helpful. In addition, one of the other areas that directly interfaces with learning is the concept of being able to represent what I've collected into my portfolio in a way that answers specific questions. So in our case, we have colleges who are doing teacher ed, we have colleges who are doing credit for prior learning, we have those that are looking at transfer curriculum. All of those could provide a way to represent this one as an example, and I go into a particular standard, going to complete the questionnaire. This questionnaire asks me, related to this outcome, how did I acquire my knowledge? What supporting evidence do I have, which means I can actually take content and pull it in. I could even take an entire page and pull it in to that site. And I can also respond to other questions that might involve reflection or am I completed with that. Those can then be collected into the content of the tool as specific evaluation.
This is the layer that really starts begging, what do you intend to use the portfolio for? What outcomes are you hoping? And it asks instructors or programs to now move beyond just the portfolio as a backpack and a way to kind of organize information. And it now used in a very particular context, a cohort, a program that has discrete competencies. This is the layer that we're spending the majority of our time with in terms of talking with Minsky faculty. How are they assessing learning outcomes?
So if you were to look at a completed portfolio by a student who is in a teacher ed program, for example, that person's portfolio may actually have a collection of their questions forms there. They're going to use this for showcasing their capabilities in getting a job, getting grants, getting scholarships, or in the case of Minnesota Department of Ed, turn these around into another format for alternative licensure opportunities. So you can see an actual completed questionnaire in a student portfolio. They've answered the questions, there are links, there are reflections, and that's exactly the way it would start to look in a portfolio.
We just finished up a conversation with some of the folks in the Perkins unit. And so if you're working at all with the programs of study down there, as it relates to Perkins, what we were talking with them about is libraries of competencies being built within eFolio to basically measure how students are obtaining different technical assessment competencies within particular programs of